Hey, World Watchers. I wanted to bring you guys a story that was brought to my attention. Um, and I'm going to give you guys a brief overview of the story. I'm going to play some video clips to make sure everybody is caught up. And I'm also going to bring you guys today's latest update of the case. In the case of 5-year-old Taylor Rose Williams, she was reportedly missing by her mother at 7:22 a.m. on Wednesday, November the 6th. According to Taylor's mom, Brianna Williams, she last saw Taylor in her pajamas in bed at midnight. When she woke up the next morning, the back door was open and Taylor was gone. Okay, so it's been 9 days since Taylor had been missing. And today we finally got an update on the case. So I'm going to go ahead and share these video clips with you guys.
Nearly 4 days into the search for Taylor Williams and still no sign of this smiling 5-year-old. Tonight, this is one tip JSO detectives have received that they're looking into. A Craigslist ad saying childcare needed tomorrow because the poster was, quote, bailed on. Brianna Williams' name is not anywhere on it, but you can see the poster mentions having a 5-year-old working at NES Jacks and living on the north side. JSO says Williams had just moved there from the south side and reported her daughter missing from there Wednesday morning. JSO Sheriff Mike Williams discussed this post during a news conference Thursday.
We're looking into all of that and trying to corroborate that right now.
JSO added they're vetting the now deleted post, but have no information on if it's tied to the Williams case at this time.
You put in an ad for daycare, and so people immediately assume that, well, you're not guilty of anything.
Action News Jack's law and safety expert Dale Carson says he's seen suspects use methods like this to cover their tracks.
And that argues that the child was here. Why else would you put an ad in the paper for daycare if the child was no longer among the living? I mean, you wouldn't do that unless you're intending to deceive people.
And now that police have said Brianna Williams is no longer cooperating, we followed up with the woman who says she helped her move just days ago, but Taylor was nowhere to be found. She remembers talking with Williams about the move.
She's like, this isn't something I really wanted to do, I just have to do it.
New insight and a potential new clue, but still few answers in the disappearance of Taylor Williams.
So according to news reports, Brianna Williams was initially cooperating with the investigation, but when the police began to question her inconsistencies in her reports, she stopped cooperating. I also want to mention to you guys that Taylor's father, whose name is Maurice Tate, is a truck driver who lives in Alabama. According to Maurice, he hadn't seen Taylor in a while, and he said he had no idea where his daughter might be. Later on, Maurice Tate's mom came out and said it's been about 2 years since she or her son, Maurice Tate, had actually spoken to Taylor, that prior to Brianna Williams moving to Jacksonville, she cut off all communications with them. So they had no idea what was going on with Taylor and where she could be. So now I'm going to go ahead and play you guys another clip so you guys can get some more information on the story.
The search for a missing 5-year-old girl is intensifying today after her mother stopped cooperating with police. An Amber Alert was issued after Taylor Williams was reported missing Wednesday in Jacksonville, Florida, but investigators say it's been weeks since she was last seen. Maria Villarreal is outside her home in Jacksonville, Florida right now. Maria, good morning to you. Does this mean that investigators are now focusing on the mother?
Well, good morning, Gail. Right now, the Shelling said they are exploring every possibility. Brianna Williams said when she woke up Wednesday morning, her daughter was gone. But the sheriff is now saying there are some inconsistencies in her story.
Search teams have knocked on more than 600 doors, looking inside dumpsters and divers scouring a nearby lake, hoping to find 5-year-old Taylor Williams.
I feel bad, and that's our job, you know, to help find this little girl.
And while nothing substantial has been found, volunteers say they don't want to give up until they find out what happened to her.
We know that Brianna Williams was the last person to see Taylor, and we need for her to cooperate with us.
Sheriff Mike Williams says Taylor's mom, Brianna, was initially working with police, but is now no longer cooperating.
We were talking to her about some inconsistencies in her statement, and that's when she chose to stop cooperating with us.
The young girl's mother reported reportedly told police when she woke up Wednesday morning, Taylor wasn't in her bedroom and the back door was open. But Sheriff Williams says investigators do not believe the 5-year-old walked away from the home. Law enforcement curtailed search efforts Thursday evening. Over the weekend, Taylor's family moved out of this apartment complex. Tiffany Nicole says she helped them Sunday.
The whole 45 minutes we were there loading things up, I never once saw a child.
It's strange because I'm like, I didn't even know she had a little girl.
Investigators are asking anyone who's seen Taylor with her mother in the area in the last 6 months to call police.
So we remain hopeful that we'll find Taylor. We're not going to stop in our efforts to locate her.
Brianna Williams is a petty officer stationed with the Navy here in Jacksonville, but most of her family is in Alabama, and that's why Florida authorities are working with law enforcement in Alabama right now as well. The Florida Crime Stoppers, they are offering a reward to anybody that has information on where Taylor is.
So to just piggyback from the last video, Taylor's mom, Brianna Williams, is in the Navy. She is currently a petty officer first class at the Tactical Operations Center at Naval Air Station, Jacksonville. And until recently, Brianna Williams lived at the Southside Villas apartment complex on Southside Boulevard, where police were seen investigating on Wednesday and Thursday. A dive team searched small ponds in the area, and investigators dug through trash from the complex's dumpster. And I also want to mention to you guys that on the third day, cadaver dogs picked up a scent in mom's car. So after conducting an intense search, still no signs of Taylor. Jacksonville decided to extend their search to Alabama. And so today, guys, we got an update.
Earlier today, search teams uncovered the remains of a child in a wooded area in Alabama. And while indications are that this may be Taylor Williams, the exact identification of the victim will be made pending some detailed forensic analysis. Brianna Williams, the mother of Taylor Williams, has been arrested this evening on charges of child neglect and giving false information to investigators during the search for Taylor. The suspect has been absentee booked at a local hospital after being admitted today due to an apparent overdose of some sort. We will continue to investigate every lead, every aspect of this case. I think it's important to remember that we are nowhere near done in this investigation.
Tonight, the mother of 5-year-old Taylor Williams is clinging to life, according to her family. Hours ago, she was rushed to the hospital after overdosing. And we have late-breaking developments on the charges she's now facing connected to her daughter's disappearance.
Those are charges of child neglect and lying to investigators, all as the sheriff says. You just heard him saying those human remains found in Alabama might be those of little Taylor. On your sides, Anthony Austin is in Demopolis, Alabama, near where those remains were found. Anthony?
Jeff and Heather, this is a developing story with a lot of twists and turns that we've been through today. Where I'm standing right now, this is a very dark area, a wooded area between Demopolis and Linden. We understand that Brianna Williams is actually from Linden. I want you to take a look behind me. Beyond here, down this dirt road in this wooded area, that's where those human remains were discovered. We're learning from Sheriff Mike Williams a positive identification hasn't been made just yet, but he does believe that those remains are those of 5-year-old Taylor Williams. Once again, a story with a lot of twists and turns. As you guys mentioned earlier, we learned today from the sheriff that Taylor's mother, Brianna, is now facing charges of child neglect and also giving false information to police. This is a story right now that has a lot more questions than answers. The sheriff himself even saying that today.
There's a lot of aspects of this case, especially as we stand here today, that we're not going to be able to answer. I think State Attorney said it best. There is an immense amount of evidence and data that we have to pour through. You know, we don't want to give away information or say anything today that may hurt that case.
And tonight, we do have team coverage for you. We have every angle of this story covered. We want to begin tonight with Shelby Danielson. She's been following the developments with Brianna Williams. We understand that Brianna Williams actually tried to commit suicide earlier today. Shelby.
That's right, Anthony. The sheriff confirmed that she overdosed, and a family member of Breonna Williams spoke exclusively with us tonight and told us that Breonna Williams is now on life support. We spoke with several officials who are working this case, and they gave us similar information, saying that she is at the hospital in a medically induced coma. We've learned that the two can overlap, but clearly she is in serious condition here at UF Health right now, and despite that, she is still facing those charges in her daughter's disappearance. Now, if you take a look at some video we shot just a little while ago, you'll see several vehicles from the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office have been at the hospital all evening, on and off campus around the area. Several employees from NAS Jax, where Williams worked, say that she was on base when she overdosed and was rushed to the hospital. They described widespread tension and panic around the base really all week, but especially today. Sheriff Williams could not confirm if Williams overdosed before or after the discovery of those human remains in Alabama, but we did learn of her overdose shortly just after we reported of that new information. And you'll also see some video that we took when we first arrived today. Earlier, you'll see the crime scene vans from JSO pull into the emergency entrance here alongside ambulances. We saw a medical examiner vehicle and a One Blood unit along with those vehicles. We can't confirm if those two are related to Breonna Williams. We spoke with visitors who came out of the hospital today when all of this was taking place, and they described an increased security inside of the hospital. They said there were certain halls they couldn't go through, and they had to get out a different way. Now, we have spoken to friends and family of Breonna Williams over the past few days, and they have continued to back her up as a loving and devoted mother. But right now, they are heartbroken and just hoping for answers, especially after these latest developments here on the First Coast and in Alabama. It's all a very confusing time for them, as we can imagine. We're going to send things back out to our Anthony Austin, who is live in Demopolis tonight.
It definitely is, Shelby. It's been almost a week since little Taylor Rose Williams was reported missing. We've been here in Alabama for several days now since the investigation led us across state lines from Florida up here to Demopolis, Alabama. So let's talk a little bit about how we got here. On your sides, Robert Bradfield picks up that angle of the story.
Anthony, good evening. Yes, today's news of Breonna Williams' arrest has come almost a week after she first reported her daughter missing. And since then, scores of volunteers and law enforcement officers have taken part in that search, both in the woods and the water. Breonna Williams told police she last saw Taylor on Wednesday when she put the little girl to bed at midnight. About 7 hours later, the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office was notified of her disappearance, and it was just before noon a statewide Amber Alert was issued. The same day, investigators began searching Williams' home on Ivy Street and a Southside apartment complex where she lived before moving to Brentwood. And Jacksonville Sheriff Mike Williams said Breonna Williams stopped talking with investigators. On Friday, local searches were scaled back.
Listen, we've checked, triple checked, quadruple checked in those initial areas. So as we get more information, as we get more cooperation, we can expand or redirect searches, and we're ready to do that.
On Monday, the sheriff called Breonna Williams a person of interest and deployed a group of investigators to Alabama. And on Tuesday, the sheriff's office said a child's remains were found in Alabama.
So this investigation has led us to what we believe to be the remains of Taylor Rose. And as Sheriff Williams mentioned, Ms. Williams has been arrested for the felonies of child neglect as well as making false statements during this investigation.
Sheriff Williams says no one else is in custody right now related to this investigation, but investigators will look into every lead, and their investigation is far from over. Robert Bradfield, First Coast News, on your side. Anthony, back to you.
Far from over. Robert Bradfield, thank you for getting us up to date on how we got to this point. Since we've been out here in Demopolis, Alabama, we've been speaking with people who know Breonna Williams, including her own family members. For example, her sister. Last night, we spoke with Breonna Williams' sister and Taylor's aunt. She told us that she has not seen Taylor in about 2.5 years. Now, Breonna's sister told us that she does not think that Breonna had anything to do with the disappearance of Taylor, but she does think Breonna knows what happened. The sister also would text Breonna asking how they were doing, but she says she would not respond for months at a time. In fact, she said the last time she heard from her sister was sometime back in June. Of course, You can read more of this interview on our website, firstcoastnews.com. You can also download the First Coast News app to see that story as well. Once again, I am live tonight out here in Demopolis, Alabama, live between Demopolis and Linden, where these human remains were found down this dirt road out here in this wooded area. Those human remains believed to be those of 5-year-old Taylor Rose Williams. We're going to be out here gathering the latest information for you. We're going to have more. Kaylee Tracy will be here with you for Good Morning Jacksonville. But remember, you can go to our website, our social media pages for the latest information as we continue to learn more in this ever-developing story. Live tonight in Demopolis, Alabama, Anthony Austin, First Coast News on your side.
So it has not yet been confirmed whether or not these are indeed the remains of the 5-year-old missing child. However, police do believe that they have located the little girl. Brianna Williams' attempt to commit suicide, in my opinion, shows her guilt and the fact that she knew exactly where Taylor was located the entire time. And I do believe she attempted to commit suicide immediately after she got the news that they actually found the remains in Alabama. If there's any more updates on this story, we'll definitely bring it to you guys. But as of now, this is all I have for you. I'm not sure if we're going to take a deeper look into this case or just simply pray for justice for Taylor. Drop me a comment below and let me know what you guys think.